Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. So we're at the final video for issue 8, and we're going to be hitting the gaming table with our new rules and missions. So we're learning about charging and combat, and we have a mission where some Infernus Marines have been ambushed by Termagants and Von Ryan's Leapers. So we learn a bit more about the phases of the game. So before we hit the table, don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the Combat Patrol Carnage content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're aiming for hopefully 750 by the end of the year. It would be nice. We haven't got long to go, but we are pretty close, I believe. I'll double check my subscriber numbers later, but yeah, we're getting close to that number. And don't forget to also drop me a comment down below. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They have new and second-hand models for various different game systems. They also stock dice, tokens, paints and paintbrushes. So yeah, check them out. They have the whole hobby shebang under one store. So that's warbay.shop, link in the video description. Right then, let's head to the table. We'll read our new tutorials and we'll play through our latest mission. Here we are then, back with issue 8 for a final time, and we're ready for our next fight. So I have everything we need here. So our data sheets, our tokens, dice, Infernus Squad and the Von Ryan's Leapers. And of course we need our brand new unit, the awesome Termagants and their Ripper Swarm, the all-consuming Claw, as they're known. Very awesome name. So we'll put them off to one side, and we also have, of course, our trusty game mat. So we'll be using that in just a sec. But first we have some rules to do. Oh, I also forgot we have our all-important, awesome measuring stick. I still can't say that with a very straight face. Diving in then, so let's adjust the camera and we'll learn about charging. So into the issue we go. Paint guides, lore, data sheets. So the all-consuming Claw, our new unit, and into our gaming articles. So charging and combat. In addition to moving in the movement phase, your units can make a special random move called a charge move. Charge moves are made in the charge phase, and they are used to get your units into engagement range of enemy units. How far your unit can charge is determined by a 2d6 roll. So next up we have the how to charge. So first you choose a unit. If that unit is within range of 12 inches of an enemy unit, you can be selected to make a charge. Check the distance. So you will check your distance first off to check that you are in range, and then check to see how high you will need. Finally, then you roll and make your move. So you roll 2d6, and if you make a high enough roll, you're free to move into the combat range. If you don't, you are stuck out in the open. So at the bottom, we got an example of a successful and a failed charge. So, example for successful charge. The Tyranid player has made a charge roll of 5 for their unit of Von Ryan's Leapers. This means the unit could charge up to 5 inches. This is enough to move the unit of Von Ryan's Leapers into engagement range with the captain in Terminator armor. So the Tyranid player moves each model up to 5 inches. So they start off here, 5 inches back. They move up to be within combat range of the Space Marines. So they actually end their charge within half an inch, which is perfectly in the combat range of 1 inch. So rolling out 2 dice, we've got a 3 and a 2 equals 5. So this gives us the 5 inches. You must remain in coherency when you do complete a charge. Otherwise you'll suffer losses. A failed charge then. So in this example, the Tyranid player has made a charge roll of 4 for the Von Ryan's Leapers. This means the unit could charge up to 4 inches. This is not enough, though, to move into engagement range of the Terminator captain, so the units must remain where they are, leaving them open to shooting and charging by the captain later. So, fighting. We pretty much know how this works, but let's have a look, because there's some new stuff to learn. After the charge phase comes the fight phase. In this part of the turn, your units and your opponent's units can fight in close combat using their melee weapons. Try to destroy as many enemies as you can before they have a chance to destroy you. In this tutorial, you learn how to pick units to fight. Charges and fights. In the fight phase, units fight with melee weapons. Units that charged fight first, one unit at a time. Then, you and your opponent take it in turns to fight with any units that didn't charge this turn. A unit must be within engagement range of an enemy unit to fight, and only models that are within engagement range of enemy models can fight with melee weapons. Units fight in both players' turns, rather than only on their controlling player's turn. So charging units get fight first. So first, friendly units that have charged and have the fight first rule can fight. If both players have units that can fight in this step, usually as a result of the first fight's first rule, a player whose turn it is not gets to choose a unit first. When you choose a unit, they first make a pile-in move, then every model in that unit that is in range with their melee weapons makes attacks. Remaining combats. Once all units that have charged have fought, any other units within an engagement range may fight, starting with your opponent, taking in turns choosing units to fight. As before, pile in, follow the combat sequence, then consolidate. Once every unit has been picked to fight, the fight phase ends. Each unit may only be picked to fight in a phase once. So we mentioned pile in. What is pile in and consolidating? So piling in and consolidating. When you choose a unit to attack, you may make a pile in move with that unit. Move each model up to 3 inches to get as close as possible to the nearest enemy model. After a unit has fought, it can consolidate. Move each model in the unit up to 3 inches towards the nearest enemy model. Your unit must be in unit coherency after piling in or consolidating. Piling in and consolidating allows you to keep your units locked in combat with the enemy. In this example, each von Rein's leaper has moved 3 inches to get as close as possible to the captain before making any attacks. This ensures that they are all in range to attack. Moving on then, we have our scenario for ambush predators. Having been caught out by several bold Space Marine maneuvers, the Tyranids are striking back. They have identified a group of Infernus Marines. These warriors believe they have a superior defensive position, but with cunning, the Tyranids will be able to ambush them. Your mission is to advance stealthily up the board and, where necessary, deploy the Termagants as a distraction in order to ambush the Infernus Marines and slay them in melee. To make it simpler to learn this mission, ignore the ranged weapons used by the Termagants and the von Rein's Leaper's innate fight first rule for now. Gather your data cards. For this mission, you'll need data sheets for your Infernus Marines, von Rein's Leapers, and the Termagants. You'll also need the 2 Tyranid Terrain essential cards shown here. Again, the large and armoured sites. How to win. You win this mission when the last Infernus Marine is slain. However, should all your Tyranid models be slain, the Space Marines win. Keep the rules for charging close to hand while you play. You will need them to secure victory. So we set up the units like so. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, this is a very one-sided fight. 5 guys against 13 definitely doesn't seem fair. So yeah. As it says, you could deploy your Termagants out to the side, taking a normal move to give them a distraction, while your von Rein's Leapers sneak as close as possible. So we got examples. So turn 1, move the von Rein Leapers up. And in this example, we've also moved the Termagants out. They've attempted to charge but have failed. On the Space Marine's turn, they shoot and will fight in combat if they are in engagement range. Battle tip. In the above example, the Tyranids could have taken better advantage of the cover provided by the scenery. For example, the Termagants could have moved closer to the armoured infestation site while remaining in cover. This more cautious strategy would have set them up for a shorter, more achievable charge in the next turn. This may also save some Termagants from the firestorm. And then continuing on, we got the next turn, so Tyranids move, the Von Rhine Leapers move up again. They're in a much more suitable position to make a charge, as are the remaining Termagants, and so we charge the Space Marines and then we fight. After that, we've got our victory. So I'll set up the battlefield and we'll get into our new game. So here we are, set up as the magazine says. So our 10 Termagants and 2 lines of 5, our 5 Infernus Marines, our 3 Von Rhine Leapers right in the top corner, our 2 terrain cards, and I've got the data cards spread out around the battlefield as well, ready next to the units that need them. We've got our range ruler and my dice tray, and we're ready to begin. So we will start with the Tyranids side of things. So I think what we'll do, we'll follow the example of the magazine, and we'll use the Termagants to be a distraction. So they have a movement of 6, which will get the first one up to there, that one up to there, that one will have to go 3, followed by 3, this guy can go 6 right out to the side, this guy can go right into there, he can go right to there, he'll go there as best he can, he'll go there, that's as far as he can get, this guy can go full 6 up to there, as can this guy. So we ignore the Termagants' weapons for shooting. They haven't created enough ammo yet. So the Von Rhine Leapers can move a massive 10, but what we'll do, we'll move them up, like the example says, to there, so that they are out of the 12 of the Infernus Marines. So luckily though, I don't think we can fail a 4-inch charge, but we'll see. Nope, we don't. We actually get in with a 7. So this guy is going to go all the way. Actually get to the other side of him like that. This guy will go straight into there. This guy will go straight into there. He'll go, we'll move this guy first I think, because he can go straight to there. This guy will go to there, and the rest of these guys, so he can move the 7 and end up there. And the rest of these guys are going to end up just sort of stockpiling. So now we're actually in a fight. We can do the pile in. So this gives everybody in the unit an extra 3-inch move. So we can get, so we'll focus on the guys who aren't actually in base contact. He is. So I don't think we'll get many more in contact. We'll move. Let's move the tails out of the way for a start. And that will do. So now we'll fight. So charging unit fights first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys are actually in engagement range. So 6 attacks hitting on 4, so they're melee weapons. And then wounding on 5s, because it's strength 3, toughness 4. No wounds. So our Infernus Marines can fight back. We'll pile in first, so he can go there. And can this guy actually go? Yes. 3 inches there. So everyone's in range for the Infernus Marines. So the combat weapons give them 3 attacks each. That's their full 15. 4, 5. They hit better, so hitting on 3s. Okay, apparently their elite training isn't very elite. But we do wound better with strength 4 against toughness 3, so wounding on 3s. No AP, so our Termagants get their 5-up save, so 5-up saves. They only have 1 wound each, so I'll roll all at the same time. Oop, that's out the tray. Wow, we actually passed 3, so 2 will die, and we'll take the back 2 off just to save. As it doesn't specify, we have to take from any specific place in the unit. So, Space Marines' turn. They will move, which they can't, because the mission specifies they can't. They would shoot, but they can't. They would shoot with pistols, but the mission specifies that we can't shoot in combat, as for some reason we haven't covered that rule, but we have slightly covered it, so we'll skip over that. So we move straight to combat. In this case, the Tyranids will fight first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 still. Can we make it 7? Not really, can't quite make it. We can't move through other enemy units. So 6 still for our Tyranids fighting. Wow, that's a lot better. Hitting on 4s, 4 attacks, wounding on 5s. Come here. 2. No AP on this, so straight 3-up save. Ouch, we failed 1, so 1 guy has taken a wound. Tyranid's turn, so the Von Ryan's Leapers can now move. They're going to move their full 10 inches. Put some right there. No shooting from either side, so we'll go straight to charge. We need at least a 3. We get a 4. So he'll be able to move to there. He'll go in there. And this guy will have to just pile in there. Speaking of piling, he could go through his own unit and end up there. So Von Ryan's Leapers will fight first as they actually actively charge. 18 attacks. 3 lots of 6. Hitting on freeze. Quite a few misses there. Strength 5, toughness 4, so wounding on freeze. And with a -1 AP, so 9 wounds. Not enough to wipe the unit out, but enough to do some serious damage. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we roll the 1 guy who's wounded. Fine. Nope, he's dead. So now we'll roll 2 dice. That's a save. Another 2 dice. Another save. Ooh, come on, power armor. And again. Ooh, that's a wound on 1 guy. Can he save? No. He does die, but he has tanked most of the hits, which has been helpful. So now the player whose turn it isn't, in this case our Space Marine's turn, will get to choose their next unit to fight. So we got 3 guys left with 3 attacks each. We might as well focus our attacks on the Termagants we're in base contact with. Hitting on freeze, that's a lot better, only 2 misses. Wounding on freeze. Oof, didn't do too much. The combat blade obviously didn't find the weak area. Only 3 wounds, so 3 Termagants saving on 5s. How? Only 1. So, end of the fight, we can now consolidate. So, Von Ryan's Leapers will consolidate 3 inches towards, and this guy can consolidate as well, the nearest enemy unit. So, those poor Infernus Marines are boxed in. Oh, I didn't do the attacks on the Termagants. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just chucking them into the dice tray apparently gives me better results than rolling them. That would have been a 6. So 3 wounds on the Infernus Marines, 3 saves. Yeah, all good. Right, Space Marines turn. So the Tyranid player will pick a unit to fight. So they'll go with the Von Ryan's Leapers here, hoping to shred Space Marines. 1, 2, only 3 misses, not bad. And wounding on 3s. Haven't done overly well. Might be enough to kill the unit. 4, 8, 9 again. Okay. Everyone's fully healthy for the moment, so I'll roll 2 at a time. One guy's taken a single wound, so it'll be this guy here. 1 dice, 1 dice, 1 dice. Ooh. In the tray, come on. Still save. Wow, okay. Oh, he's finally gone. 3 minus 1 is a fail. And that last dice is a save. Wow. Okay, we're doing pretty well. So now it's the Space Marines fight. Only 2 guys left with 3 attacks each. This time we'll turn our attention to the Von Ryan's Leapers. It's going to be harder to wound, but hopefully if we can take one out, there's less attacks coming in. I'm not going to kill one, but we have got 2 wounds through. They get their 4-up armor. Oh, saved 1 but failed 1. And our Termagants, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Yeah, just chucking these into the dice tray apparently does best for Termagants. And they haven't done any wounds. So there we go. On to, that was the Space Marines' turn, so on to the Tyranid's turn. The Space Marines will fight first. There's 6 attacks. Not too bad. Come on, can we kill a Von Ryan's Leaper? Oh, we got 1 wound. Who saves? This has got to be the end. We can't hold out much longer, can we? That's 1 Leaper. That's 2 Leapers. That's 3 Leapers. 18 attacks. That's their worst roll so far. Only 4 hits, I think. And to wound again, 3s. Ooh, this could be... Yeah, this is definitely their best so far. That's more than 9. 1 more than 9, so 10. This is definitely enough to wipe out the last 2 Space Marines and then some. 8, 10. So nobody's wounded, 2 dice at a time. And it's just the sergeant left to take 8 wounds. Nope, he's definitely dead. So there we have it. That is a Tyranid victory. I don't really see it could have gone any other way. But yeah, that was a really fun game, learning the basics of charging and fighting. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's head back to the magazine. We'll give you the victory speech, and of course we'll show you what's in the next Combat Patrol magazine. So here we are back at the magazine, time for our victory, and we got a Tyranids victory. The Infernus Marines fight valiantly, but it is in vain. The last warrior in the squad is impaled gorily on the talon of a Von Ryan's Leaper. Yeah, that was pretty much how it went down. The Hive Mind commands its warriors to feast on the fallen and to return to the primary Hive cluster. Having seized the advantage, it is time to launch another devastating assault. So it's nice that we're actually seeing a bit of a difference in the win victories here. While Space Marines are predominantly in the lead, we are looking at some victories going towards the Tyranid. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a different game compared to the Imperium magazine, where it was near enough always in the Imperium's favour. But yeah, got a lot to look forward to in this magazine, especially in the fact that we've got different armies to play with later on. Speaking of later on, what's in the later on issues? Well, issue 9 nets us 2 new paints. We get Retributor armor, so we get to decorate our Space Marines with all that beautiful gold. So the chest eagles, where's my sergeant? So we got things like the chest eagles, the ribbing around the shoulder pads there, any little markings such as the skull as well, and this little trinket here. We'll be using Retributor armor 4, and then Abaddon Black. We'll be picking out gun casings, the joints in the armor just behind the leg there, and the strapping that's holding his canister to his belt as well. So yeah, and on the Tyranids then, so we'll be using Abaddon Black mainly. We'll be using it on stuff like the hooves, backs, claws, the tail, and the actual main combat limbs as well for all our models. So very awesome couple of paints to come. And after that, we get a brand new model for the Space Marines. This is the Terminator Librarian. So an awesome model, giving us some advantage over the Tyranids in the form of a Psyker. We learn about Psykers. We also learn about how to use psychic powers and different types of shooting attacks. And we also get a new brush in the form of a medium base brush. So there we have it. Right. That's it for issue 8. Here we have our new unit, all fully painted, or up to the current standard. And yeah, ready to do battle again in future issues. So thank you all very much for watching. I now have a lot of painting to do, as I've got a lot of models I want to get painted up between now and next issue, which will be issue 9. So a lot of details I'm going to be adding to all my models. As I previously said, I'm going to be focusing on the Terminator Captain and the Wing Tyranid Prime on how to do the tutorials in issue 9, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, pretty cool. Big thank you then, of course, to everyone for watching and to Warbay.shop for sponsoring the series. So, I'll see you all next time on Combat Patrol Carnage, and until then, goodbye.